Welcome back to Profi Plays. I'm Profi, and we are picking up here. No, okay, I have to do it. So it's Sunday in real life right now, and this is the third episode that I've recorded in a row. Because I know how my weeks are going right now at this point in the semester. So if I'm going to offer more than just one episode a week, I'm going to have to do them all, like, record them all back to back like this, and then just space out when they get released. Hope you don't mind. Probably don't care that I'm just wearing the same shirt all the time. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And normally I just doing undershirts. What'd you know? Okay, in any case, so I, I just had to do that. Okay, so I guess it feels like I know what happened in the previous episode more than usual. That's why. Because it was just like a half hour ago. But so here's what has happened so far. So last time we have flipped from the beginning part of the Runehammer campaign structure to the middle part of the Runehammer campaign structure, which means then that right now what we're doing, uh, we are in the midst of trying to gather the things that we need to defeat the bad guy. We have at this point revealed that the villain is the ghost of a wizard, specifically a wizard named Lios, who was a human wizard in his time. We don't know exactly what his goal was as a wizard, nor what it is now as a ghost of this wizard. We haven't figured that part out yet. Uh, but no new mysteries are going to show up because we're in the middle of the campaign. It doesn't make sense for that. But we will need to start kind of revealing the things that have happened. So one of the things that was revealed when we went back to the castle of Riarden was that he had somebody in his prison, uh, somebody by the name of Hank Quinn, right, who happened to know something about Leos and something that is important to him, specifically his hammer. So the hammer of Leos is something we are going to have to seek out and find. We believe that is going to be very important in actually bringing an end to him. So that is part of what's going on. Another part of what's going on, right, is that Hank Quinn, the person who had this information, has joined our party. We convinced the Lord Riordan to allow him out of prison specifically to join our party and help us out. So what that means then is that I have statted him out right here. Right, so this is what we know about Hank Quinn. Hank Quinn is not particularly strong, not particularly dexterous, but he is somewhat wise, though terribly uncharismatic. Which kind of the uncharismatic part kind of fits with why he was in prison. We just know he was very aggressive. Okay. But when I was figuring out kind of what to make him then, having the only thing that he has a positive, the only positive modifier he has is on wisdom, which means he should be a priest. So what I've decided is that while he was in prison, or perhaps right after we got him out, he has had a vision. And this vision is from God Ord. Ord is a neutral aligned, and I think it makes sense that he's going to be neutral aligned. So he's a neutral aligned god, right, who um, is really kind of the god of secrets and magic and the like. So that is going to be who Hank Quinn is a seeker of, seeker being first level, right? So he also has a background as an herbalist. So my guess is, while we know that he was a mason before he got put into jail, my guess is that he kind of grew up with his like parents knowing about herbal stuff, so he picked up some of that knowledge. So what we know about Hank Quinn then. One, he is human. He is a priest of Ord, specifically of the Seeker level. And just some of the stuff that I rolled for him. He does get a +1 on all of his spell casting. I decided to give him, well, every priest gets turn undead, which might possibly prove useful, though it's hard to turn undead with a creature that's higher level than you are. But yeah, we can try, right? So we have that. He has holy weapon and shield of faith, so he's really kind of he's a fighter oriented priest at this point. So not really a healer. He can speak Common, Elvish, and Primordial. I gave him Elvish because, after all, his lord is an elf, and also his I guess not really companion. I guess the person he's accompanying, Sariel, is also an elf, so it makes some sense that he would know Elvish. So that is where we are right now. So the question is, what is the next thing that is going to happen? So in this stage, we should be seeing is kind of a lot of back and forth, where we make some progress, and then they make some progress on the other side. So I think it makes sense here. What we know, we want to go and find this hammer of Lios. It makes sense to me that it would be in a dungeon somewhere. I say that in part because I want to do a dungeon crawl and I haven't done that. So so it's in a dungeon. There we go. It makes sense to me as well, given kind of just the map that we have here. Right, so we were in the castle here. This is where we found uh, the, what tentacled statue or whatever, and the ghost of Leos appeared to us. Right. So if we're going to go just by proximity, it seems like this would be the most obvious dungeon here. Right. So it feels like that's probably the dungeon we're going to end up heading toward. So I think that's probably where we're going to end up. However, before we get there, I think it makes sense that we are going to get attacked because we made a little bit of progress. So I think it makes sense that Leos has an eye on us. After all, he didn't appear directly to Sariel. He's going to have some sense of what's going on, and we are going to end up attacked, I think. So that is what I'm going to do. It's been a while since we've done combat, and I kind of want to do combat. So here we are. All right. So what is it that's attacking us? I have here my list of random monsters. So it's there are 52 of them that are included in the. Oh, there it is. Okay. In the Shadowdark quick start. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll. So it was out of 52, I guess. So I'm going to roll this. I've got 38. 38, fortunately, is under 52. I would have had to roll again. So it's a Scarab swarm. So 35s. Get paid for that. All right. So pull this out. Let's look at what a Scarab swarm is like. So this is what we know about Scarab swarms. It's a chittering cloud of iridescent oval-shaped beetles. Okay, it's a level 3 monster, AC 13, HP 14. It has 2 bites at a +3 with doing 1d6 damage. It can fly, and then we have its stats. Okay. So it's a fairly basic thing. And now this would actually fit then with the theme of one thing that Leos can do is he has some influence over animals and he has these psychological impacts. So I'm going to say, okay, so one thing that also stands out to me is that so Sariel, I think, is going to try to assemble a posse of sorts. So at this point, he has a priest. He has himself as a fighter. I think he also would like to have a thief and a wizard as well. So I think that he is going to want to do some more recruiting. So the question is, where are the best places to find a thief and a wizard? So I think that it makes sense to me. Wizards you're going to find in towers. Now we have encountered some wizards before. Um, okay, so we know that Ophelia is not going to be eligible. She's too high level. We've already established that about her. Uh, who else could we? We could recruit from over here. There is a wizard on this side. There's a wizard here. There aren't really wizards down here. Now, I think it makes sense for thieves. We would probably get a thief either from a prison, which castles will typically have. So we have a number of castles we could choose from down here. We could go back over. I think this direction might make some degree of sense because there's a couple of villages. We might possibly find a thief there. And up here we do have a castle and a tower. So actually, maybe that's the direction we're going to be heading. So we are leaving from here, and I think we're going to just kind of head this general direction, right? And then we're going to hit some villages, tower, and I don't think we've established a wizard in this tower yet. So yeah, I think that makes sense. We're going to go this way and see if we can gather what we need to gather. All right, so let's do that. So we head out this direction. And this is in the plains here is where we get attacked by a swarm of scarabs. Okay, so the swarm of scarabs, I'm going to just grab something to signify that there's a swarm of scarabs there. What do I need? Range matter what I use. Now I think it's probably best for us to not bother fighting this thing. All right, so we have here, let's move this closer to me so it's easier for me to reach. So we have the two of us. All right, so we have Sariel and Hank, and the scarab swarm is coming in, like so. Okay. Just looking at the situation, neither of us is particularly strong. I think it makes sense for us to try to extricate ourselves from the situation as quickly as we possibly can. So, in order to do that, it is only level three, but we're each level one. So you add it up, two level ones versus a level three. This is probably still not going to go. And it has two attacks. It can attack each of us at a plus three. This is going to be real bad. And like none of our abilities are specifically aimed toward it. I think this could be very, very bad, actually. So let's go ahead and we're going to roll for initiative. So again, we're just going to use side initiative here. So side initiative, so that we'd be rolling here at our dex. Our high dex is a +1. Right, so there's ours. Ours at a +1 is a 15. Theirs at a +3. Oh gosh, is a 21. So, so they do at least get the chance to come and try to attack us first before we can try to extricate ourselves. Right, so they swarm in. I don't know who they're going to try to attack. Let's just. Are they going to attack Sariel? The answer is no. Okay, so they're going to try and attack first. Hank. So sorry, Hank. So sorry. He's probably going to die. All right, so here we go. So he's attack. So they're attacking Hank. First roll is again at a +3. His AC is a 10. He has leather armor on. Okay. Oh, that's 8 +3 is 11. That's enough, right? So he then would take 1d6 of damage. Happens to be a 6. Ha! Awful. So he only has 2 hit points. So okay, well, I mean, he's dead. Well, he's down. He's down. He may or may not be dead. So let's roll for that. So he gets three, yeah, so he gets 3 rounds potentially, right, to revive himself. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, then they get another attack. Now, we are reasonably close to each other, so I think it makes sense that they would go ahead and attack Sariel while they're at it. Right, so, but they flub that one, so Sariel is okay. Sariel is going to try to stabilize Hank as best he can, because if he doesn't, he's going to have lost a second companion. Um, in like 3 sessions. This is awful, just awful. So okay, let's go ahead and we'll try. Let's try and stabilize him. Remember, we've got intelligence of +2, so we've got to roll 13 or higher and 20. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Notice I didn't use my luck before. Huh. Oh well. Well, at the very least, now Hank is stabilized. Okay. This then. So Hank is stabilized now. We're back to the Scarabs. The Scarabs get to act. So what do the Scarabs do? They're obviously going to attack the person that's still standing, which would be Sariel. And they roll a 19, which is enough to get through his AC of 14. This is very bad. Okay, and they roll a d6 for 3. So Sariel is down to 3 hit points. All right. At this point, Cyril grabs Hank and they try to vamoose as best they can. Right. So that was that encounter. Right. So they get out of there. Oh, where do they get to? They're here. Right. So we're going to be heading up toward this village. So I think we're going to end up stopping here. Right. So this is in C. What's that? I think it's C8. And there isn't Abby there. So it makes sense to me that we might want to try stopping there, actually. So let's try stopping at this Abbey. Savvy might possibly be able to help us. All right. So I don't actually have this Abbey decided yet. So this is C8, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't actually have anything decided for them. So I'm actually going to right here, right on the show, I guess. So we're in C Overland. This is 8. So this is an Abbey. So I'm actually going to create the abbey right now so we can see what kind of abbey it is as we approach it. So as we go through, this is in the forest. So as we go through the forest, this is what we see. Okay. Oh, an abbey's type of settlement. So pull out my settlement booklet. And abbey would be after that. There we go. So first, the name of it. This is Clearwater Abbey. It's clearly not the only abbey of that name, but that is what they named it. So that suggests to me it's probably on a stream or something like that. All right. The size of it. So how big is this abbey? It's a 2. Tells us it's a small abbey. How many monks and nuns are there? So D4 times, so it's just 30. Okay, so we have 30 monks and nuns living there. In terms of the structure, okay, that's really not anything we get any choice about. So every abbey has the following locations, right? They have the abbot's room, cellars, cemetery, church, cloisters and garden, and infirmary is useful to us. Kitchen, refectory, monks' cells, necessarium, servants, laborers, tradesmen's quarters, storehouses, and the like. Additional locations. So let's see. What have we got? In the garden, we have a flower garden. We also have the infirmary has room for critical patients. Oh, that's wonderful. In terms of religious buildings, there's a chapter house for meetings. And then other. What else do they have? They also have a vestarium for clothing storage. All right, activities. So we've got to find out what kind of activities they do. So in terms of farming, farming specialties are goats and pigs. They also have a workshop. The workshop specializes in, okay, they're cutlers. It's nice. And what else do they do? They also have a bookshop. Oh, fame. Okay, no, fame only matters for major abbeys, so we don't have to worry about fame. Events. So are there any events here? No, no events. Only events on a 1. And then what has happened in the past for this abbey? 8. Sponsored by a rich patron. So we make it to this abbey. Right, so we make it to Clearwater Abbey. In terms of their reaction to us, well, let's find out what that's like. So now again, it is Sariel that's going to be the one speaking here. 10. So 10 is going to be a fairly positive reaction. So I guess the Abbey would be curious of us, according to the Shadowdark reaction table. Right, so we explain the situation as to what happened, that we were attacked on the road, and that we are in the midst of trying um, to free this area of this ghost that has been causing problems, right? So we need a place for some shelter where we can heal and the like, and we are hoping that they would allow us to spend the night here, that we can heal. Uh, I'm willing to say they're an abbey, they have an infirmary, they're perfectly fine with that. I think that the way I'm going to run this is that I just have to pay them for rations in effect, right? So that way I don't actually have to use the rations that I have. That's how I'm going to rule this. So I like that. I like that idea a lot, actually. That if I pay them the equivalent of what it would cost for 2 rations, then they will let us stay the night. Okay, so looking that up, rations, 3 of them cost 5 silver pieces, so we're going to pay them that. All right, so we pay them 5 silver pieces. They're going to let us stay over the night. We have to do some work or something like that for them, but that is enough. It was through. Okay. All right, and that is that. So I think that next time, then, we are here in the Abbey. We're going to be moving on to the village up to the, I guess, northeast of here. Makes sense to me. So we'd be moving, where is it? We're here. We'd be moving here because we're trying to head toward this tower, which is where I think I'm going to be picking up a wizard. Okay. So in the meantime, and we may want to see if we can happen upon any thieves along here, which would be kind of nice, or if we happen upon a wizard, because that'd be real convenient. All right. So I think we might actually want to check because we know that they do take care of like critical patients here. So there might actually be somebody here that we can recruit next time, possibly. Right, so let's go ahead and call that there. So that means then this is Prof E signing off.